Hey guys, Gabe Bult here. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about real estate investing. I'm going to give you the 7 steps to start investing in real estate. Now, fair disclosure here, I did steal these for the most part from biggerpockets.com because they are the best resource for real estate investing, and that is where I've learned a lot of my stuff. So step number 1 would be to educate yourself about real estate and real estate investing. This is the same as with anything else. You want to learn about it so you don't end up making mistakes. There's tons of books, podcasts, YouTube videos. There's biggerpockets.com, not a sponsor at all, unless they're interested, which I doubt it. But you could go check them out. You can go check out their podcasts, and you can go, like, there's just tons of resources online. So you want to do that. You want to educate yourself. You want to learn so that you don't end up getting fleeced with like bad properties and making mistakes and like not knowing how to screen your tenants and things like that. Or you don't end up getting like a bad property and end up losing money as opposed to making money. When if you do things right and you know your numbers, it's very easy to make money. And you don't want to end up with a house like that one. I don't know if you can see it. It's a house across the street from me. Man, I'm never gonna get the camera back to where it was. That one got burned down because I think there was like drug people living there. That was before I bought this house. So, but you actually want to look for things like that because that will drop the value of my property down, because there's a burned out house across the street and my house looked a little scary. Man, that's really messed up. But that'll actually help the value of mine once something happens with that. If anybody wants to do something with that, you can. It'll help the value of mine, and it'll help me raise and make more money for mine when I go ahead and sell it in 5, 10, 20, 50 years, whatever I happen to do. So that would be step number 1. Step number 2, I hope the camera is fixed. So choose your niche and your strategy. So if you're going to go ahead and wholesale, you want to learn about wholesaling. If you're going to go ahead and buy rentals, you're going to want to learn about that. If you're going to want to flip properties, you're going to want to learn about that. And then if you want to pick like one strategy and like a niche to be in. So you don't want to try and go ahead and do everything. You want to pick one thing and know it very, very, very well, and then you're able to just go ahead and do that. So for me, it is buy and hold rental properties. So I'm going to be doing house hacks and trying to get up more rental units to earn passive income, or like cash flowing rental units, as opposed to someone else like my grandfather, let's say, or a bunch of other people do this. They'll go ahead and they'll buy a property, and then they'll sink money into it, they'll fix it up, and then they'll sell it, and then it'll be done. It's gone forever. My strategy is more like buying something and then just keep it forever and keep collecting cash flow each month. So just choose what you want to do, what is going to work best for you, and then go ahead and really focus on that one thing, not on everything. Step number 3, make a plan. So this goes along with step number 2. You want to make a plan so that you have a goal to get towards, and you can start working towards that goal, and you're like slowly getting closer, so you know that everything you're doing is getting closer to that goal. So it might be having 100 rental units or having 10 rental units. If your goal is to have 10 rental units, then probably you shouldn't start focusing on wholesaling or doing something like that where it's totally different. You want to focus on what you're going towards so that you know everything you do, it kind of makes choices for you so that everything you do is getting you towards that goal. Step number 4, go buy a property. So you got to find a property. You can do this tons of different ways. It's not as hard as you would think. You just go out and find a real estate agent, preferably one that has already has rental properties. So you want to find someone knowledgeable about whatever niche you're going into, and you don't want to find someone who just does general single family houses if you're looking at 4-unit multifamilies in downtown. So just make sure that you have the right real estate agent, or you can do direct mail, you can do advertising online. There's just tons of different ways that you can find them. You can knock on doors. It seems like a difficult way to do it, but just go ahead and start looking for properties, because you're not going to make a deal if you're not out there and you're not making offers and getting rejected a lot of times, because if you get accepted right away, then you're probably offering too much. So it's okay to just offer low and make sure you run your numbers and you know your numbers really well. Again, that comes back to educating, to knowing your numbers. All right, so the 5th step here is you're going to need to pay for it. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can buy properties with low and no money down. There is a pretty good book about that. I'll link that in the description. But for the most part, you are going to end up needing some money, probably 3.5%, which is what I paid, up to 20% or even more. But you can do this without money, or with different ways of doing money, with syndications or partnerships, or just if you have the money, just go out and buying it. Or there's just tons of different ways that you can do this. You can do it with private money, hard money, like private lenders, whatever it happens to be. There's tons of different ways to do this, but you're gonna have to figure out a strategy in order to be able to do that. So if you don't have the money yourself, then you want to start looking for a partner, start looking for a mentor, maybe go find a hard money lender. But they're not gonna give you money, they're not gonna partner with you if you don't know what you're doing. So it all comes back to educating. Keeps going back. So number 6 would be marketing. So you're definitely gonna wanna learn about marketing, whether you're buying, you're selling, or pretty much anything you're doing in whatever type of job that you have. Marketing yourself and everything around you is very important. So I'd highly recommend taking some marketing courses or like sales courses or something like that. It is very beneficial and can help with a lot of things, especially if you're going to sell a property, you're doing stuff by yourself, or you're buying, you're trying to present yourself, you're trying to market yourself towards somebody and stuff like that. Step number 7, get paid. Money, dollars. So that's the last step here. You're just gonna get paid. You're gonna figure out a way to do this. So if your goal is to build up a lot of rentals like I do, then you just get checks at the end of each month, and then you figure out a way to turn those into more properties or whatever you're doing with that. And then another way we do it is if you're flipping or you're buying, holding, whatever you're doing, you're selling again, you wanna make sure that you're making money from that, and then you can either go retire, which I wouldn't recommend. I'd recommend keep going because it's really fun, or you can go ahead and reinvest it. So there's some really cool ways of doing this where you can take the profits that you make from real estate. Like if you go ahead, let's say you buy something for 50 grand, you put 20 grand into it, and you sell it for 100 grand. Now you made that 30 grand or 50 grand, whatever it is. And then you go ahead and take that, and then let's say you made 50 grand from that, then you go ahead and use that as a down payment for a $250,000 property. And then you do the same thing with that, and then you take the profits from that and you turn it into a $500,000 property. And you can keep flipping that, and you can defer the taxes with a couple different strategies. We're not gonna go into all that right now, but just know that there is a ton of ways to do this, so I'd highly recommend looking into it. And especially if you're young, starting with that house hack and start building that passive income and live completely rent-free. It's really cool, so I'd highly recommend it. And I will link a bunch of stuff in the show notes. And if you guys like this, please go ahead and like and comment on this video. It really helps promote the video and let YouTube know that you like it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but that would be awesome. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day.